Welcome to the check-in.
Welcome to the check-in.
Okay.
So, since we're back, y'all already know what it is. Sometimes we cuss. But that's okay. Just pretend like we're not. You'll be fine.
Just pretend.
Okay?
We're also not mental health professionals. So if you need to talk to somebody, text HOME to 741-741 or NAMI
Yes.
to 74174. That's NAMI. And a trained professional will text you back.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this content.
Get into this content.
Get into this content.
Get into this content. Get into this content.
Hey. It's 4:30. Are we recording?
Why don't you ever just go?
Oh, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Do you have...
4:30, hour on the clock, go.
Hey, all right. So,
How you doing, friend? How are you doing,
how
friend?
am I doing?
Yeah.
I am doing phenomenal. It was a great weekend. And I have to go back to work 3 days in a row this week, so
That's gross.
looking forward to that. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I've had a very, very interesting last few days.
Yes, you have.
Honestly, all of us have, and I'm glad we were able to bond that way before we started the recording.
I mean, we are a gang force. That is what that is.
Not yet. I'm not gonna say nothing because people might be listening, but I was very surprised with the information that I have found out today, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with that information. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Sometimes I'm ready to just pass away.
Take it in stride. Take it in stride.
In stride.
Yeah, that's a saying, right? Take the information you heard in stride. Right?
I don't know how to stride it. You know how they have stride right? I stride wrong. And that's where I feel like I am right now. So I don't know. I was really planning to...
You've been planning a lot.
I was. And now I'm like, I am not sure if I should partake in things with people's children.
I say that hot girl summer is in full effect.
But that's for hot girls. I'm a hot old lady, and I don't know that I qualify, honestly. I'm a hot elderly summer.
You didn't get your AARP card in the mail yet. You're not that old.
It's pending. And I think, I'm really... I don't know how R. Kelly did what R. Kelly did, because right now I'm in okay ages and I still feel very wrong.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. But R. Kelly was just like, ain't nothing but a number.
It is very more than that.
It is more than a number?
Yeah.
It's the
thing. Ability to buy cigarettes or vote or rent a car.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. You're still hitting milestones when they reject your car rental reservation.
Yeah, so...
But you still got some miles to hit in life.
Yeah.
Before you can do that. So, I mean, hey. You're not R. Kelly, and that's how you take things in stride. Just remember that you're not Robert Kelly.
I am trying.
Piper.
Okay.
Enough of that. Speaking of, R. Kelly, let's talk about adverse childhood experiences.
Okay.
Segue.
So that one time in band camp.
Yeah. What is your earliest, most traumatic childhood memory?
Honestly, I won't say this was my most traumatic, but it was definitely something that I was like, holy smoke. And I'm gonna just preface this by saying, I love my brother, and me and my brother are friends right now, and we cool. But I remember one day, it was early in the morning. We were both getting ready for school.
Okay.
And I guess I was getting on his nerves. I don't know what I was doing, but...
Sorry, there is just multiple eyelashes falling into my eyeball.
Oh, no, me too today.
Okay.
Okay,
cool.
yeah.
Twins.
Twinsies.
Alright, so yeah.
And I guess I was getting on his nerves. We were literally brushing our teeth. It was school day, early in the morning, and I think he told me to stop talking, and I wouldn't.
Listen.
Yeah. And he almost punched me in the face. Now, he punched the wall behind me. and then left the bathroom. And I was like...
Did he put a hole in the wall?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he had enough child strength. But that was my first, like, oh my gosh, I can get hurt out in these streets. And these streets is my house. This is crazy. Just crazy. So that was like my first moment where I was just like, wow.
Were you saying anything in particular, or did he just want you to stop talking?
I think he just wanted me to stop talking, which is ironic because I had that very moment in high school many years later, and I put a child in the trash can for that.
What?
Yeah, I picked her up and put her in the trash can. She would not stop talking to me. So I really, like, it came full circle, and I started to understand things a lot more. So thanks, bro, for dealing with me. Because I didn't even have to live with that girl. You had to live with me.
Remember that story. That's crazy. You had 2 incidences in high school where you almost hurt somebody.
I wasn't trying to hurt her. I was just putting her in the trash can where she belonged. Because she would not stop talking to me. I said it, like, very many times. Very many. Please stop talking to me. I'm trying to do my homework. Please stop talking to me. We have a game tonight. Can you stop talking to me? Hey, stop talking to me. For real. We'll say her name was Laura. Laura, leave me alone. Laura, seriously, shut up. And she wouldn't. So I picked her up. She was a very small person. And I put her in the trash can. But you know what she stopped doing? Talking to me. So.
Did you stop talking to your brother after you punched the wall?
Oh, I left him the hell alone for a very long time. Because I was like, oh my God, he's really mad. He's really mad. He almost hit me. And that wasn't, because usually as the younger sibling, you'd be like, Mom, he tried to hit me. No, I ate that situation. And I was like, I've learned a valuable lesson today.
I mean, that was very big of you. That's definitely a snitching moment right there.
Leave people the hell...
Bro, if my sibling punched the wall in which I was in front of, I would be like, oh, I got whiplash, Mom.
This was a lesson in passive people have their limits and leave them alone, and you don't know what people are capable of. Especially quiet people, because my brother was very quiet growing up. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I'm the talkative one. Talk, 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 talk. Talk, 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 talk. And then he was like, shut up! And I was like,
have you guys revisited that moment? Like, have you been able to talk about it now that you're adults?
I don't think I've ever talked to him about that moment.
Surprise. I hope he listens.
I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously. But yeah, that was my first moment. I was like, wow. I could be well-meaning and nice and still bother people to the point that they want to punch me in the face.
That is a lesson to learn. That's one hell of a lesson.
I learned it very early.
How early on in life was this?
I believe we were still on Fort Meade. So that was... Yeah, that wasn't even like... I want to say like... I was third grade at the most for that situation. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, oh. What about you? You have earliest trauma?
I mean, 1,000%. So 210%. Okay. So for example, in honor of the cicadas right now,
buzz.
17 years ago, I remember being at Faith Baptist Christian School.
Shout out to Faith people.
And there was this kid, his name was Alex, I forgot his last name. He shook a very small sapling, and that shaking released a horde of cicadas that all flew in my direction. And that was the moment that I said to myself, in 17 years, when these MFers, because I didn't cuss back then. I didn't want to go to hell.
You're like, sign me up for hell.
It's going to be fun.
I hope we're rooming together.
I hope we are too. Dance party every night. But yeah, I was like, when these MFers come back in 17 years, I'm going to be away from all trees. I'm going to be living in Manhattan in a penthouse suite. Guess what, everybody?
I see a tree right out the window.
I'm living near trees. I am not in Manhattan. I'm not in a penthouse. I'm on the 3rd floor of a house. But you know,
it's a pent-ish house.
It's pent-ish, you know. But I really didn't follow through with that. And there are moments where I get angry with myself, and I'm just like, you had such ambition,
hope,
dreams, will,
motivation,
a lust for life in your youth, and now you're just taking it one day at a time, taking it in stride.
One step at a time.
That was like a funny, you know, little thing. Wasn't anything traumatic like yours. Like I've never had anybody almost hit me though. That's never happened.
That was definitely the first and last. Yeah, because I knew not to push people's buttons. Like when you're a kid, you always have to test boundaries. It's like what you do because you don't know how to be human. So you're like, oh, how much can I get away with this person? That day I learned. And I've tested every adult that has had to take care of me, and I've gotten a whooping from every one of them. Because I was like, this is as far as I can go. Understood. I will operate within the parameters that I have discovered, and I will not have any more problems.
I would definitely I was like a patience tester, a limit tester, a boundary tester. I tested all types of things. It's ironic because I don't like tests now. So
things come full circle. Isn't that crazy?
Really though, like as a kid, I think I was a lot of fun. But I was a little asshole. Like, when I hear stories about myself, I was just like, I said that in public? Why didn't you push me down a flight of stairs?
Jeez. Not like a whooping or a smack in the face. Like,
very mouthy. Like, imagine my unfiltered state of mind 24/7 as a child. So just blunt honesty.
Yeah, but you're a kid. Kids don't know when it's inappropriate to say things.
It was incredible. Okay, so, all right, we're talking about that one time in band camp. All right, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So I'm in Red Lobster. It used to be my favorite restaurant. Beyonce. I was in Red Lobster with my parents.
Like my hair stuck.
It's not stuck anymore.
I got it. Can we cut that, please, Timothy? Thanks.
Oh,
wow. Okay. Well, you're at Red Lobster.
I was at Red Lobster, and this is an example of how much of a little shit I was. I was at Red Lobster with my parents, and, you know, Billiam and Lisa, hee and ha-haing as usual. And I'm talking.
Does he know that you call him Billiam?
No. I am talking. You call him Billiam. I got that from you.
Okay, because I'm good at making names.
You are.
I should have kids, but I don't. Okay, anyway, moving on.
So we're hee-haing, and I'm talking, and this other table with another family, like, was just like, oh my God, like,
I love this story.
How old is she? Like, she's saying complete sentences. All right. What I proceeded to say, thoroughly inappropriate, but I whipped my maybe 2 feet, 3-inch body around and was like, Mommy, what that white boy just say? Inappropriate.
Funny.
Flight of stairs.
Why do you keep skipping to flight of stairs?
Because I would have been so embarrassed. If that was my kid in a restaurant screaming, what that white boy just say?
What did he say? Everybody else in the restaurant probably wanted to know too now.
All he said was like, oh my God, she's like adorable. Like, I was smaller than I am now. Crazy, I know. So like, it's like you're seeing this small human talk like a 6-year-old, and they look like they're 1.5. So it's just very off-putting.
So cute. Look at your little baby.
It's just very off-putting. So he was probably like, wow, look at that little girl. Like, he was probably admiring me, right? And then I come back with some rude racial shit for no fucking reason.
I think that was a very appropriate comment. For the words that you had at that age?
What that white boy just said?
Yep. Seems appropriate to me.
Girl, I hate that story.
Bet you he'll never say it again.
My parents tell that story all the time, like at my graduation parties, like they'll repeat it at dinners.
It's a great story. It's funny.
Like, it's so funny, and I'm just shrinking in my chair.
My dad regularly teaches his Harley Davidson class and uses the word ungood, which is a word that I used because I didn't know the word for bad, so I said ungood. And so many a classroom has heard that. So when I worked there, and they would be like, haha, ungood, and I'm like, huh? And then when I went to deliver supplies to the class, that's when I heard the story being told in real time. And I was like, I'm going to go downstairs.
How old were you when you were saying ungood?
I don't know, but it's still not okay. So at least you used actual words, albeit rude.
Offensive.
But actual words.
Yeah.
I made up a word, and now it is a part of many people's memories for motorcycle class.
Why would he share that with the rest of the class?
He probably thought it was funny and cute, just like most parents. There's also another story about how, like, I blew out a diaper that people like to and I'm like, I don't like that story. Yeah, it was all up your back. I'm a baby. I don't know how to not poop up my back. I had a lot of poop. I'm sorry. Stop telling people this.
Oh my god. So the story that I heard was that I potty trained myself. So back in the 90s, there were no hyperallergenic anything. So when you have a baby that's allergic to the world, you just gotta make shit up. So my diapers were washcloths. Like, I saw one in my, like, childhood. Like, I saw one, I was like, what's that rag over there? And my mom was like, that's your old diaper. Like, it's not a rag, it's what you had to cover you. And I was just like, what? But, yeah, so apparently I used to lift the things off and just go to the toilet myself and, like, fall in, but, like, not care, because it's better than having a washcloth around your ass and genitals to collect fluids. Like, it's just disgusting.
So apparently I heard that my brother, he would just take his diaper off and hand it to people, be like, dirty. Didn't go to the toilet, didn't take it off beforehand. He would go ahead and use it and be like, here, huh? And my mom would be like, I don't want, go put it in the trash.
It's uncomfortable. Would you like to walk around with a dirty diaper? No.
If you can take off your own diaper,
you shouldn't.
You can put it in the trash at least.
Oh.
At least.
You asked me for a lot. I'm doing half the steps for you.
You should have been more proactive and not use the diaper.
Bro, I was just so scarred. I was like, I'm disgusted with the lack of just... Society was so behind when I was born in the 90s.
You're such a do-it-yourselfer. Look at you. He said, listen, I ain't dealing with this poopy rag on my booty. I'm gonna use this toilet. That's what we doing here? We use toilets? Okay, me too. That's really funny. You're such a self-starter. You should put that on your resume.
I'm a self-starter.
Yep.
I potty trained myself. I was insulting. That was taught.
I was delivering complex criticism at a young age. You gotta get them.
That resume work.
Yep.
Okay. So this was good shit. Okay, some bad shit. Yeah, let's get into it. The one time in band camp. It's some really, really traumatizing events that happened in your childhood that shaped the way you are as an adult today.
Well,
If you're comfortable sharing it.
there's so many to choose from.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, when you gotta sort through, you ever have, you know, like in SpongeBob when they had like all the little SpongeBobs in his head, and it was like there's a whole file. Yeah, they don't have that problem with the trauma. They're like, oh, which one? The one from 93 of being born, or the one from 98 when we became scared of loud noises? Which one? So
Using your birth as a traumatic event.
is it not? I was born on a highway, bro. That's traumatic.
Yeah.
In an ambulance.
You were a
Ambulance.
special delivery.
It was traumatic for my mom. I know that. having a baby with no pain medication. That's
Having a baby and not knowing too.
well, she was doing grown people things, and grown things happen. Okay, that's what you, mom. Love you. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna go with the loud noise one since that one popped up today anyway.
Okay.
So, this was probably middle school time frame, and I never, as a kid, liked being yelled at anyway, which is probably one of the biggest reasons that I try to do the right thing all the time, because the look of disappointment I did not like. That was my mom's secret weapon, is the look. And then my dad would raise his voice. He just off jump. And it's probably because he's military. He's used to yelling. He's pretty loud himself. So it's just like, it doesn't register to him.
Yeah.
But to my little earballs, I was like, I'm in danger. This is danger. I don't even know what this person is saying to me anymore. I am in danger.
Aww.
So this was the first time my brother noticed it, which I guess makes it more of a traumatic-ish experience for me, because when you have your trauma and you can kind of keep it close to your chest and you're like, okay, I'm just going to deal with this by myself. It's different when somebody else sees your trauma happen. So I don't know if both of us got in trouble or something happened, but my dad was upset. He yelled at us, and then he left and he slammed the door. And so I was like, okay, I think maybe it was because we didn't clean the kitchen or something.
Yeah.
And I went to put the pots away. And for some reason, like, I guess I was trying to hurry or I was shaky or whatever. I put the pots in, I tried to stack them and they all fell. So it was very, very loud. And I just sat there on the floor and just started crying. And I was covering my ears and I was like, I can't. And my brother is like, probably like, what the flip is happening?
That was like your first panic attack.
Yeah, so he gave me a hug and he actually cried with me on the floor, and I was just like, I can't, it's loud, I can't. And he's like, it's okay. We'll work it out. And I'm not gonna cry. Anyways, that was like my first traumatic experience where somebody else witnessed it. And you have that moment of feeling like very vulnerable and like, oh my gosh, like I can't keep my shit together. This is not okay. But then, you spend so much time trying to learn how to self-soothe, and you have somebody who actually is like, oh no, I'm going to soothe you. And it's like, oh, okay, this is not that bad. Because, for all I know, he could have been like, bro, what's wrong with you? It's just pots. So he handled it very well, and I appreciated it. But that was the first big moment where I was like, oh man, I think I have a problem.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's sweet that he consoled you though.
He's like,
I wasn't expecting that.
He's got the biggest heart ever.
But you went from he tried to punch me to he cried with me on the floor.
Because he doesn't like to be bothered. I wasn't bothering him when I was crying on the floor. He was just like, oh, that thing is sad, let me hug it.
Did your parents see you crying? So that was a really sweet bonding moment. Aww. He's all choked up. Sibling love.
Well, my brother's a great guy. He's single.
He is. Dark toned man. Sorry. You gave him that? No, you said deep tone the other week. I like that descriptor.
Do you want his number?
He wouldn't do anything with it.
Nope, he wouldn't.
He would respond 5 years from now. Who's this?
Yeah. Are you married?
Oh, wow. Okay, that was really sweet. Wow. So, I too have a bunch, a stockpile of trauma. To think of a serious one, how serious should I get? Should I get the big event or
I don't know. I put my card on the table.
But yours was sweet.
Yeah, it was cute because there was somebody nice there at the end, but the yelling that happened beforehand, that was not a good time.
So oh my god. Okay, we can take it there. That's fine. Facebook memories is a
triggering,
wretched, just awful. I mean, it really takes you back, and discovered a while ago that I used to put everything on Facebook when I was in high school. Everything.
Yeah, we didn't have anything else to do.
So, like, every time I got my phone taken away, every time I got in trouble, yeah, like, I was not a bad kid. I want to make that very clear. Like, as an adult now, I wish I gave my parents hell. Like, I really do wish I gave them.
I kind of do it now just to get back for all those easy years.
I'm just like, I was so easy for you guys. You didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
I should have given y'all hell.
I should have been trapping. I should have been trapping out the bando. I should have been a drug lord, honestly.
I really should have been living, not my best life, but a very toxic life when I was in my parents' household, because the ease and grace I gave them as a child, it was just unnecessary.
It's used up now, though.
And it wasn't even like they weren't grateful for it. Like, at the end of the day, they were not grateful for how easy of a child I was.
They just did great job parenting. That's what happened. They were good parents. That's what happened.
My lips started quivering. I was about to say something crazy. Okay, anyway.
Kept it inside. That's good. Yep. More grace.
Self-control. So, Facebook Memories is this wonderful, beautiful, wretched place. And I'm able to see all the stuff that I posted. And one time I took a screenshot of a very particular post that I think carried on into my adulthood. It was a post about a parent. I won't say which parent, but I said, I wish I was good enough for that parent on Facebook for the world to see. Like, it wasn't even...
Did you tag him? Was the name in there?
No. But, yeah, the name that I called him, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Okay.
So, I was like, I wish I was good enough for this particular parent. And I said that. And, like, hella people commented. And they were like, what? You're awesome. What are you talking about? You're good enough. And just all the reaffirming nice shit that you should be telling yourself. But I didn't believe it. And so I took a screenshot because in my crisp age of 27, I still feel that way. I feel like I was always competing for approval and never really got it.
And then approval was affection.
Yeah.
And the affection wasn't even that affectionate.
Yeah. It was like my family unit, like my nuclear family, I used to be very cuddly. Like, I used to love to touch people. I get so freaked out when people touch me. Like, don't
I
touch
notice.
Me. Yeah.
I touch you sometimes. And I'm like, she doesn't like this, but I'm feeling manic, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna lay on top of you.
Like, hugging, telling each other we love each other. Like, that was not a thing. So whenever it occurred, something was wrong.
Like, at the shoot we did with Jill in the winter,
God.
and she's like, get close to each other. It's like, yeah, we don't really touch each other.
I don't touch her at all. We don't even hug. Like, I don't do this.
We finger gun each other and, like...
Yeah. That's about it. But, yeah, the affection, that was just... Affection was just like, oh, good job. You could have done better, though. That was the extent of the affection from that particular parent. And I don't, to this day, I mean, it is what it is. I don't really think that me mentioning this is going to change anything.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, that's just how...
Oops, I flicked some water, sorry.
How, like, they carried that from their childhood, and that's how they decided to parent. But I think it affected me as an adult because, like, I don't feel like anything I ever do ever is good enough for me.
No, for yourself.
For myself.
Okay.
I always try to find, like, I always say, oh, good job, but you could have done this. The same thing I was told when I was a kid. And so I think that that memory really, like, triggered me because I was just like, damn, I put this on blast? Like... That's awkward. But, I decided to delete it. Like, one of my cousins, my cousin, she was like, let go of that hurt, girl. Like, you don't need to keep seeing that every year. And I was like, you're right, but I'm gonna send you the screenshot though, so it's like, somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
That's very interesting because I have that issue of letting go with really like toxic shit.
That's good though.
So, well, no, because I keep the messages and and then it's like I revisit it, and in one sense, like it's good because it reminds me, like, no, this person, this is how they really are.
Yeah.
Like, this is the unfiltered version of this person. But on the other side, it's just like, I still try to make excuses. So I feel like I have to have this totem of hurt and pain so that I remember how this person is and what they did to me and what they continue to do. And I just add to that totem like 16,000 feet high right now. So when I cleaned out the purple room or the purple room closet, I threw away a lot of stuff, and Honey Muffin was here, and it took me several days because I would find memories and I start crying, and my whole week would be shitty after that because I'm just like, bro, why?
Yeah.
Like, why did I not feel good enough for this person? Like, why? And then why do I have to do so much unlearning of what this person continuously told me the entire time?
I mean, the unlearning is the toughest part. It's so much effort on your part to fix something somebody else broke.
Yep.
That is obnoxious as hell.
And like my internal voice would be these people who had opinions of me that were narcissistic or just flatly not true.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I have to create my own internal voice that's gonna block out these other ones, but I never had an internal voice. Like, a lot of times your first internal voice is your first trusted adult or your first best friend or your first whatever, first love. Like, whoever was most meaningful to you is usually the voice you hear in your head. And sometimes that meaningful person is a piece of shit. And that doesn't dethrone their voice in your head. You can't be like, you can't be like, oh yeah, this person's a piece of shit, move that out. Like, you can't. So...
See, that's that inner critic. See how it comes full circle?
No.
Okay, so...
I'm a bad student today, but go ahead. Educate the masses.
You're not a bad student. So there is some healing work that you can do to kind of like mitigate the damages that happen in your childhood and that's affecting you as an adult. It's called inner child work. And we did an inner child exercise last night.
Yeah. We did that.
It wasn't very fun for you.
No, it wasn't fun for me.
Essentially, the idea is you want to tap into, like, we all react in a certain way because of a specific event that happened or even a traumatic event. Like, trauma doesn't have to be something like somebody shooting at you or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it could be anything that had a significant impact on your emotional state, your mental well-being, whatever. So, inner child work is where you kind of go back to that place you were as a child, feeling those feelings for the first time, and try to heal from that so you can respond differently as an adult. If that makes sense. I'm probably butchering the meaning, but definitely look up inner child work. It's combined with shadow work and like inner critic work. All that stuff is all the same. And you do a lot of non-dominant handwriting in some of the exercises and the meditations. And the non-dominant hand is supposed to be your, inner child self because it's juvenile. Wait, what was the term that they use? Unschooled.
Illiterate,
unschooled self, your non-dominant hand. And you have to talk to your illiterate, unschooled self with your non-dominant hand and respond in your dominant hand. And so there is some imagination that needs to take place. There is some pretending. There is some I like to do it when I'm a little schmuck. But, whatever suits you. It's not for everybody.
It's not for me.
It's not for you.
I did the exercises and I was just like, what does this do? Why am I doing this? I hate this.
Why? Because the non-dominant handwriting? It was silly, stupid, crazy.
What did I say? Icky. It's ugly, slow, and inefficient. Would not recommend 0 out of 10. So freaking slow. This shit sucks. Honestly stressful.
It's stressful.
I hated it so much.
Okay, I said this feels uncomfortable, and then I wrote grr. Then very awk, very silly, very childish. This is anti-fun with an arrow. Pro, not fun. That is what I wrote.
I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Nah, it wasn't, but it comes full circle. So when we responded to that, what did you say? As your adult in your dominant handwriting.
I really don't get what this is, what this does, but I'm doing it. Made me think about ambidextrous people.
Are you serious? Okay, that's good. I mean, ambidextrous people, they probably would not struggle as much.
Nope.
But are those people real?
I think so.
Those people exist.
SpongeBob's ambidextrous.
SpongeBob is also a sponge.
Yep.
SpongeBob is also a cartoon.
Okay. These are facts.
You're saying okay.
Go on.
Like, do ambidextrous people exist in real life?
If you're ambidextrous, let us know you exist.
Please, because I'm curious.
I'm technically ambidextrous.
What? What does technically mean? Can you write with both hands?
No, but I write with my left, but my right's my power hand. So like I shoot basketball.
So this is how you punch. Oh, you shoot basketball, Harry.
Punch.
Pimp hand strong on my right hand.
I mean, like, okay, so you exist. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, like writing in both hands, like fluently, like not fluently, but like prettily.
Prettily? Sexily?
Yeah.
If you sexily write with both hands, please let us know.
Please let us know.
We'd like to see it.
Yes.
Actually, send us a video.
I can't sexily write with one hand. So.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Okay, so for me, when I responded to the anti-fun, pro-not-fun comment in my dominant hand, I said this was super dumb. Non-dominant handwriting is painful because I am powerless to my mistakes. I don't have the patience to say all I want to say.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Yeah.
That's not what I said.
That is kind of like the crux of the exercise.
I understand why there was laughter after I read what I wrote.
No, I mean, but you're telling your true feelings, and that's fine. But then, like, the worksheet definitely says, like, why were you so critical of the exercise, right? Do you remember that part?
Yeah, I think I got that. Hold on, let me. You guys hear that paper rack? That's me, my notes.
You did notes and shit.
I said maybe a feeling of frustration because I can't be better than my current capabilities, even though it's not aesthetic.
That's some deep shit right here.
Oh, so I did good.
You did good.
Yeah.
And so that was good. That was really good.
Oh, yay.
No, I mean, that's the inner critic in yourself. Like, why are you critiquing it so harshly when it's just like...
Handwriting?
Yeah.
And not important?
Yeah, like, and that's what the worksheet literally said. Like, why are you so uncomfortable right now? How about you unpack that? I think the point of the exercise is you have to unpack a lot of your feelings. And sometimes if you're not in that state of mind, them feelings are going to be packed.
I feel like my inner child has been through enough, so I don't want her to have to come back out and figure shit out. I'm like, sit in your happy corner, sis.
Is she happy?
I think so. I don't know. She's not being traumatized anymore, and that sounds like a happy time to me.
Well, yeah, because you're an adult.
Yeah.
That was your point. Like, you grew up and you're not powerless like a child. You're not powerless.
So, like, I don't want to bring out my powerlessness again. She's okay. She's safe in her wherever my memories.
Okay.
She cannot be hurt.
But is she hurting?
I don't know. I don't ask that bitch questions. She stay in her tower. She mind her business on my mind, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's in her tower, and I'm like the dragon.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, she's up there. I don't know what she doing. Yeah. She an ogre at night. But she's up there in her tower doing her thing, right? And I'm the dragon that's like, nobody here is good enough to fuck with homegirl. So you gonna have to get burnt to get the fuck up out of here, bro.
I mean, that's good that you have that protection. Some people, they just up in the tower and the lava backsplashes up in their eyeballs. It's like, oh no, I'm
Lava backsplash.
I was just getting hit by the lava. I wish there was a dragon to catch the pain and fury.
Dragon out here. Dragon on a prowl.
I have no dragon. I don't. I'm just exposed in my own little void.
Okay. So our inner children are in different places.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and it's because a lot of the shit that's happened to me, I've suppressed and like, I haven't taken the time to unpack it because it makes me uncomfortable. Like, my 12 steps meetings make me uncomfortable. But I know, like, I would probably very much benefit if I started going back to those. Especially now with this other problem that I got with this second person in my life. But I'm uncomfortable. Like, having to take inventory of your feelings and get to the root of why you feel that way. It's not always fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wouldn't have to do that if it wasn't for these other people, so fuck them. So I just stay in this angry place, my little void, and like, I remain hurt. That's my inner child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it makes sense why the exercise has probably been more helpful for you than it has for me.
Yeah.
So that's good. And we're gonna post.
Yeah. If you are interested in inner child worksheets, handouts, pamphlets,
Or you want to try to do the things that we did, you know, we will. What are we gonna do?
In the description. Post a link to the drive, the Google Drive. Drop the drive.
Okay.
Thing. Yeah, we're gonna drop the link.
Are we dropping it?
We're gonna drop the
You don't want to
This
drop
is the
it?
universal for in the description below.
We're gonna drop it in the description below. Swipe up, and you'll get.
Listen, if you want it, just tell us. Because we might forget. You know, we got
Justin. We got that. What?
Hannah Montana.
We got that.
Hannah Montana. All right. Speaking of Hannah Montana,
I'm so interested to see where this goes.
oh, I didn't have no segue. I forgot what I was talking about today. So, speaking of forgetting things, let's talk about what Montgomery County almost forgot about. So, I was in my phone looking at things, and I'd seen this. Do you need a minute? You okay?
No, fine.
You
I
good?
just remembered I didn't
Everybody
pick a current event.
Oh.
I'm gonna go in the shade room real quick. Go ahead. Don't worry.
Okay, so I saw this article in Montgomery County, the something like that. They were thinking about expanding the Beltway, and what was interesting is that there is an African American gravesite there, and there was a community there post Emancipation Proclamation, 19th century-ish, that, you know, went there after the slaves got freed. And they actually had like a little town hall and all these other kind of things there. Most of those buildings are gone. But because African Americans were not allowed to be buried in white cemeteries, there, you know, are graves there, and they're not big markers, of course. They're not like anything flashy or anything. And I believe it's actually on a private lot. It's on private property. So if you're like, oh, that sounds interesting, I want to go visit that, I don't know that you can. Or if you want to, you have to talk to the people who own that plot of land. But the folks who own that plot of land and who are trying to protect that cemetery, they actually got the cemetery registered on the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And I think there's only like 11 sites there on that, which will try to keep the construction folks away from trying to put a beltway expansion through there. As for now, the construction people have left it alone. They're working on some other projects down I-395 and some bridges, but you know, when people want their land in this country, they be taking land. So
that's not American.
Yeah, it's crazy. Who would do that? So I just thought that was really, really interesting because I watch a lot of ghost shit, and disturbing people's graves is always a really, really bad idea. And especially for, you know, African Americans, it's just like, ugh.
Do you remember when Mr. Bitzer used to make jokes that our school was on a Native American burial ground? Highly offensive. But I think he was dead ass serious.
The school is definitely on an old tobacco plantation.
Really?
That's why the grass wouldn't grow. Tobacco destroys the...
You're learning new things every day.
I like local history.
Okay.
And that's probably because I watch all that ghost stuff, because you don't know what's going on with, what you're dabbling into when you go into a certain place. You don't know what's happened there. There could have been genocide that happened there. There could have been, even just a lot of magnetic whatever force in the planet that causes shit to be weird. You just don't know. Yeah. So I've not looked up anything for my house. I don't think I'm going to, because I don't want to know stuff. Stuff start popping off, I'm gonna look. But
put it up for rent.
For right now we good on this. So I don't need to know nothing else that was happening here. But yeah, I hope that for that plot, and it's about 80 to 100 bodies there, so it's not a huge cemetery, but it's significant amount of bodies that would need to be moved, and graves that would be, in my opinion, desecrated for an expansion of a highway. So there was also, I think was I in Chicago or St. Louis? I forgot where I was. I just flown in and it was the last shuttle. It was a very late flight. And the shuttle driver was like, "Hey, can I take you and this was terrifying because I was the only person on this bus. Yeah. But he's like, "Hey, can I take you the back way, the scenic route?" And I was like, okay. And what he did is he took me to this route, and he was like, "Over there is an African-American cemetery." And, he was telling me all the history about it. And again, how the local county was trying to encroach on it and trying to move all these bodies. And they've already started moving some of them. And I was just like, wow. And he was like, "Yeah, so, if you feel any way, please feel free to write our government and tell them, this shit not cool." Mm-hmm. So if anybody is here local, because I like for local people to fight for their stuff. When outsiders get involved, sometimes it gets really weird. But keep this in mind, especially, Juneteenth is coming up. So let's keep our Black spaces that we had to create because there was no space for us. Let's gotta keep those intact. Yeah. We're not, I don't think we're asking for a lot there, but that's my 2 cents, my 10 cents, and
quality.
2-piece.
It's too much.
2-piece with a biscuit.
2-piece with biscuit?
Honey butter biscuit.
And a Diet Coke?
Nah, sweet tea. Half and half. Half and half.
Okay, well, I didn't do any research for today, but something that came across my path in life. Mm-hmm. Did you hear about the residential schools in Canada?
No.
So, North America's history with indigenous folk,
atrocious.
It is dark, dingy, and gross.
Yeah.
But as an adult, seeing how much watering down they did when they taught us about what happened in school, it's disgusting. So essentially there were they're called residential schools. Mm-hmm. There's a particular one in Canada that's under the spotlight right now because they found 215 remains of indigenous children at this school. So essentially the schools were, how can I put this? They were schools to
I get you. Because they did that here in America with the Native Americans. It's like, we're going to try to remove you from your culture.
Take you from your home, put you in this boarding school, and teach you Queen's English. Yep. And you can't speak your English. You can't have your own religious beliefs. You can't have your culture. And that, my friends, is fucked up. Mm-hmm. And so they just recently found these remains of all these kids at this school. And I just saw an article on Al Jazeera. The Pope is not going to apologize because it was a Catholic school in Canada. Yeah. So the Pope is just like...
I'm surprised because the Pope's been...
Yeah, he's been pretty... I mean, again, I just saw this article and yeah. He says, Pope Francis expresses pain after the remains of 215 indigenous students found, but does not offer apology long sought by residential school survivors. And there are people that I've come across in group chats where their parents were survivors. I actually have a couple Native friends. And
that's crazy. crazy.
These schools were all over. Like, it's not exclusive to Canada.
Yeah, there were a lot of them here.
Yeah.
And you can Google and find pictures of Native Americans where they've forced them to cut their hair and styled them into basically, little colonial white boys and really just like, okay, you're getting in trouble for speaking your native tongue.
Oh, you sparked a moment. Sorry, keep going.
Spark. No. Yeah. Get your spark while it's hot.
So that brings me to this attack on critical race theory that is happening across the nation, where it's like school districts are banning public schools, whether it's like lower school or college. They're banning the teaching that essentially Britain was a colonizing company. Like, they are trying to say we shouldn't make kids feel guilty about their heritage when they had nothing to do with that. But it's just like, you want to bypass slavery? Like, you don't want to talk about Trail of Tears? Like, you don't want to talk about any of this shit anymore? And so in Oklahoma, they actually passed a law banning it. It's happening right now. There is an attack on critical race theory right now. And it's happening to my friend in New Jersey. Shout out to Gabby. Love you.
Hey, Gabs.
She is part of student association, student board association, something like that. And their bylaws got changed because they had a critical race theory. They wanted all the groups to have some type of diversity event or to learn about inclusion or something like that. The bar is very, very low to meet the standard. She was like, all the organizations were already meeting the standard, but I think it was the president of the school or whoever was in charge of that. They told them they couldn't have that in their bylaws. So it's not a requirement anymore for these orgs to do this type of stuff. And she was just like, bro, I don't understand what's happening. And it's like, Breitbart has picked this up, the right-wing conservative Nazis, whatever the fuck they are now. They wrote an article about it and how it was unfair to white students teaching, like, American history this way. And I'm just like, teaching them how it is?
Like American history is not white history. That reminds me of when people started pulling these classic books off the shelf, like Tom Huck and... Oh, yeah, no, not Tom Huck. Huckleberry Finn and
Tom Sawyer?
Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, I believe.
And the Crane? No. It was a couple books. Oh,
To Kill a Mockingbird. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were
and
just
it's like, this is making people uncomfortable. That's the point.
That's the point of the book. It should make you feel uncomfortable.
Like, learning itself is not comfortable. Who's ever been comfortable in a learning experience? Not I.
There was a whole thing at Howard where I don't know if they got bullied into not doing it, but they're thinking about removing the classics department because, all those philosophers were, like, pro-slavery. Like, I get the other side, but at the same time, like...
It all needs to be talked about.
I think it all does need to be talked about.
Even if you minimize, like, say, these classic authors are 100% of the curriculum. It doesn't need to be 0. It just maybe needs to be 25%. Yeah. And let's talk about some African American authors. Let's talk about some Native authors. Let's talk about LGBTQ authors. Let's talk about Asian and Hispanic. Like, this is quote unquote a melting pot country. It's more like a tossed salad, but like it's supposed to be a melting pot. We're all supposed to jive and have a good time or whatever. It's supposed to be a pot of gumbo. We got shrimp, we got chicken, we got a little andouille sausage. We have we got some vegetables. We got some rice. We got all that. Maybe some crab legs. Anyway, it's supposed to be a mix of all these cultures, and it's a mix of all these cultures learning one thing. And it doesn't need to be one thing. That doesn't mean that, we stopped learning about quote-unquote white history and now we're only learning about black history. No, we can learn about them all.
I'm just ready for the class action lawsuit against McGraw-Hill because they are the...
They've been fucking up history books for a very long time.
They are the top, like, publication for history books. Like, all of our books at ACS was McGraw-Hill. And the shit that they just scooted and skated by, like, it's so frustrating learning historical facts when you're in your late 20s.
Yep.
Because you weren't taught that in school. And it's just like, you are further validating me saying school is a scam.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning more not being in school.
And
TBH.
I distinctly remember it was circulating on Facebook, and it was McGraw, McGill, Hill, whatever.
Yeah.
It was them people's. But it was a Canadian textbook, apparently, where it said that the African Americans moved to America to get better life.
Yeah, they moved to America. They moved to America.
They just got in their boats, and it was like, let's go over there.
Let's go to North America.
I was like, what? No, ain't nobody did that but the colonizers.
The only time we got Black History was February.
Yeah.
Shortest month in the year.
Yeah.
Which,
honestly, Black History should just be June now.
It should be June.
Yeah.
But it would clash with Pride, but Pride is also Pride started because of trans women. So
Pride is Black History.
Yeah, it's just
can we just teach all history?
I just want
Can we teach all relevant history?
But all history truthfully.
Yes.
Don't scoot and skate. Give it to me raw.
You really don't like them scoot skates, do you?
Scoot skate.
This is a bad time in your
I'm so upset. That was a traumatizing moment when I opened that box and got a scoot skate. I was like, I sent y'all wish lists. I circled things in Model.
They said, what is it? No, what is it? Trash. Scoot skate, got it.
I wanted a very particular skateboard, and I never got it. Anyway, yeah, so thank you for sparking that.
Oh, that was great. That was a good little nugget. So yeah, y'all watch out in your school little districts and counties and stuff. Be on the lookout for weird stuff like that, especially if you got kids. But if you don't have kids and you have time, do some looking and some thinking and some writing.
Bro, I used to love encyclopedias and just learning shit on I was a little nerd, but...
Wow. I would only do that if I didn't have nothing else to do, but that's cool.
Me, only child.
Well, anyway, guys, this got a little racy towards the end, but you just sit tight because next week is our Juneteenth/anniversary episode. So we're going to be very, very happy to be celebrating a year of podcasting with you beautiful Galaxies. And of course, we have a topic already set up, so we're going to bring that heat for you next week.
Do we?
Yeah. I looked at it. Me and the sound engineer, we looked.
It's going to be heat.
It's going to be hot.
I believe in you.
But
remember that life is bitch
that
doesn't
right back. That won't tell you their age, and you have to guess. Are we okay?
No, I wasn't ready.
I'm sorry, I was just drawing from experience. Just kidding. Life is a bitch that has their windows down and there's cicadas outside and they're driving in the car and you're wondering why the windows are down because the cicada can fly into the car and they don't care about your safety.
Life is a bitch that sometimes likes to traumatize children, but you have to rise above it and tell that child that they're doing a great job and that they're safe.
Beautiful.
Life's a bitch that falls asleep during the movie.
Life is a bitch that falls asleep during a movie
that you paid for. Ooh. That you bought.
Man, y'all lucky we don't name names.
This is a shady ass episode.
We'd be throwing shots.
Okay, well, remember, guys, be kind to yourself.
Be kind to others.
And continue to be that beautiful little galaxy that you are.
Continue to be the beautiful little galaxy that you are. You guys have a great time with this episode.
Love you, bye. That escalated quickly.
You chose violence.
I did.